Hey everybody, welcome back to the Arm Scotsman. Today we are going to go over an Osight X and an Osight S. We're just going to unbox them, do a nice close-up look at them, kind of tell you about the features and things like that. Full disclosure, Osight did send me these. I have not been paid to review them or give them a positive review, but they did ask me if I wanted to review them. I said yes please, and they sent them out. This will not change my opinion on these, and you will get my full truthful thoughts on this product. All right, so now that is out of the way, I want to kind of go over, let's just open one of these up real fast. I really like the packaging. Now, these aren't overly expensive. These are definitely a budget-friendly optic with some cool features. Obviously, if Osight sounds familiar, yes, it's an offshoot of Olight. It's under the same umbrella. So this is the Osight. And this is the X. So this is the large one, and then there's this one here. We'll go over both of them, but let me just show you the kind of the packaging, which I thought was kind of nice when I opened it. It kind of reminded me of like Apple packaging. Very smart. Like the actual packaging is some of the best I've seen on an Optic packaging for. Anyway, so this is the compatibility list. It does, because the large one has an RMR footprint, and it kind of tells you about the compatibility in there. Let's go ahead and open up the side part here. This is going to be obviously your Optic. We'll put that down for a second. And this is the charging hood. Again, we'll go over this in a second. What else do you get on this side? So you have all the screws, and then you have like a bag and things like that in there. Then you have a charging cable. You have a lanyard, and I'll show you what that's for, and then you have a tool to screw your screws in, and that's pretty much it. So I just thought the packaging was pretty neat and nifty, and it's the same in both. So let me go ahead and unbox the other one so we have both of the sides out. All right, so we're going to start off with the larger one here. This one is the Osight X. So let's start. That window, let's just start off with the window. It's massive. That is a very large window. This is definitely going to be, in my opinion, more for maybe competition shooting or something like that. Or you can, well, not even just that, you can buy accessories. Let me just throw these in here. So you do have some accessories, because obviously this is RMR cable, footprint. So if you want to throw it on something like a PCC or something like that, you can do that. Totally up to you. Anyway, all right, where's my handy dandy toothpick? We're going to use that as my pointer. Okay, so let's just take a little tour of this one, and we'll jump to the other one. They're both pretty much the same in a lot of aspects. You can see, obviously, it's got the X on here designating the model. You have the brightness settings right here. It is daylight bright, and it is a multiple reticle. So you can see there. Now my camera, obviously on camera, it's very hard to pick these up. This is a 3.0 MOA dot. Now obviously it's smaller and it's crisp. It's just the camera. Now if you push the down button and hold it, it will change the reticle. Now you probably can't see that, but you might have seen the brightness change, and that's because it has the donut of death 32 MOA circle around it and the 3 MOA dot in the center. So you have those options, and then what I was saying is, if you use it on the kind of the donut of death reticle, obviously be aware you will use your battery a lot quicker because it takes more power. So and then your plus does the auto brightness, so you can switch it off if you'd like, or you can have it on. It depends on what you like, and that's your sensor for it right there. So that is your power buttons. As I say, it is definitely a daylight bright RMR footprint. You'll notice that the lens is coated. Obviously it's got that kind of tint on it there. You can see that it does sit at an angle. Yes, that is the way it's supposed to come. That's how red dots work. So just, if you see that and you're like, oh, something wrong with mine, it's not. It's totally fine. You can see the thickness of the material around the glass here. Now, the material is what they call OAL. I'm trying to remember what it stands for, like Olight or Osight aluminum or something like that. They said it's just as strong as 6061 and almost as strong as 7075, but I have no way to prove that, but that's what they state. You have the Osight logo right here. All right, so then we have the windage and elevation adjustments right here. Let's see how tactile these are. They're surprisingly pretty dang good. I'm not sure if my mic picked that up, but they were definitely tactile and audible, so very nice. Wasn't expecting it to be as crisp as that, just, being more of a budget-friendly optic. All right, so let's look at the top here. Obviously, where did my little handy dandy toothpick go? Sorry, I just bumped the camera. Handy dandy toothpick. You've got your mounting holes right here for your screws. And then you'll notice right here that you have some ridges on the back. That's for anti-glare. Also, that's your other adjustment there. And this is where the hood goes on to charge your Optic. So this is where Olight's definitely standing out. I don't think there's another company that's actually charging or battery-wise in their optics like this. So what happens is you've got the hood, and it has a small battery bank in here, and you can charge it via USB-C. When this is fully charged, it can fully charge this larger one 3 times, and it takes 2.5 hours to charge. So let me just show you how that works. Okay, so this is the hood. I'm just going to slip that on like so. And then you'll notice that it's lit up here. Now, when the Optic is in, this is the power percentage. There's a little button on here. This is the power percentage of the Optic. If you can take that out. We'll wait for that to disappear. All right, and then you can press the button again, and this will tell you the power level of the battery bank in this hood. So very interesting. Put it on there. So I mean, if it's sitting on your gun, you can put this over it. So if it just, so this is a Trigicon RMR, obviously, but if that is sitting on top of your Optic, and you instead of having to take it off or find a, take your battery out, you just put this on top, and it charges your Optic. So very interesting design. Let me put that to the side. Very interesting design. It does have a little piece here where you can put the lanyard through, which was in your box full of stuff there. So a little, a little dongle so you can hold on to it. And that's your battery bank in here. So yeah, kind of an interesting concept. I'm not fully on board with it personally. Again, I think we'll come to my final thoughts in a minute, but let's check out the size of this compared to an RMR HD. So, I mean, the RMR HD is a relatively pretty big Optic as well. This one, I would say, has a slightly, maybe not slightly, it has a larger window than the HD. But I just want to try and give you a bit of a size comparison. Obviously, this one sits in, so give you a bit of a size comparison there. So let's briefly go over the S. So obviously this is well, the S apparently stands on our website for like super compact or super this, whatever. It's marked with the S just like the X on the other one. This one has an RMSC footprint to go on those smaller pistols. Again, tons of mounting options out there for you. Okay, so the buttons work in the exact same way. So you have obviously your brightness adjustments, push the minus down to switch reticles, and then you can switch off the auto brightness by pressing and holding down the plus sign. Again, these are daylight bright, and from what I've seen in Utah, when it gets pretty bright here, I haven't had any issues, which is good. Moving around, you'll notice, as I say, let's do a size comparison compared to the X, so you know what you're kind of looking at here. Massive difference in size. So you notice again, we got pretty decent amount of material around the glass here to protect it. On the other side, again, you've got your Osight branding. You've got your windage and elevation adjustments on either side. Again, and this one, the big thing, the difference with this one, it's a fully enclosed. So you can see you've got the glass on the back there, and you can see, maybe not with that light up there. Let me. It's kind of reflecting off my lights, but you can see there's your emitter inside there that projects on the glass, protected. And then you can see it again right there. Obviously this one is not enclosed and is open, but this one is enclosed, and obviously a lot of sites are going to this enclosed emitters to kind of protect that emitter, not getting gunk or crap in there and blocking it. So that is the S, tiny little sucker, with the charging on top. Also, again, just the same as the other one. Charging time is very a little different for this one. It's so you have 3 full. If this is fully charged, you have 3 full charges, and it takes an hour and a half to charge this. Now it states you can have up to 70,000 hours of charge life using these units. Now, obviously, that is going to be on pretty much the lowest setting. If you're using brighter settings, if you're using just the, if you're just using the dot, the battery will last longer. If you are using the 32 MOA, it's going to kill your battery faster. They said, I read on, I think it was on their website, that the full brightness, if you put it on full bright, I think on the 32 MOA, kind of donut of death reticle, full brightness, it lasts 17 days. So it can go pretty quick depending on the settings you're on. But let me give you another quick size comparison before we wrap this up. This is my a SIG Optic that I have on here that I'm kind of testing it on my carry gun, and this is the Romeo X, and you can see here it's pretty comparable in size. Obviously, being the same footprint, but everything else is pretty comparable. Now, one thing I did forget to point out is these little ridges on the back here. These are obviously, when you mount this on your gun, if you have to remove your back, because some guns you got to take off your rear sights, that replaces it. So it's kind of a nice feature built in. So I do like that. I can't remember if I had it on the larger one. It did not. All right, some other things. It has a lifetime warranty. They are made in China before somebody asks me or I forget to mention it. There is a couple of drop tests out there. Mr. Guns and Gear has one, and I love Mr. Guns and Gear, so check out, if you want more information. He did drop the larger one, this one here. Now, it's harder to protect a larger framed window, and the SRO is definitely an example of that, which he will also point out. I would believe that this one would be a lot more rugged. Probably a lot more rugged. I shouldn't say it is going to be. But he did drop test with this on a gun, picked it up, shot it, held 0, dropped it again, cracked the glass, and then he shot it again, but it was shooting about 6 inches high. But for a $200 optic and taking a drop like that, that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So they're not obviously the most rugged optic in the world, and I wouldn't expect it to be again at that price point, but they do seem pretty decent. Okay, so can I go to my final thoughts on these, right? Overall, I think for the money, they've got a lot of features that are pretty cool. I think if you are not using these sights professionally or in any way kind of poop hits the fan or something like that, if you're just using these for range fun, I think they'll be fine. For me, I would not put these on a serious weapon that I plan. I know it sounds stupid, a serious weapon, but like a go-to weapon, whatever, because I worry. For me, it's like having this top here. Very easy to lose. If it breaks, you're screwed. And if you lose it, you're screwed. When you get a standard optic that just takes a battery, you can source them, you can switch it out. They're cheap, and you can carry a bunch on them or whatever. So for me, I think this fixes a problem that doesn't exist, in my personal opinion. Again, just my opinion. If you don't agree with me, that is A-okay. So kind of my final thoughts. They're cool. I think for the money, they're decent, for sure. Again, a lot of really cool features on these two optics. I'm not a massive fan of the charging hood. Kind of curious on your guys' thoughts. Does the charging hood make you not want one of these, or is that a feature that you really like? Now, I realize everything is personal preference. You may like it, you may not. I'm just curious on what your thoughts are. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, folks. If you have any questions, any comments, please ask below. Happy to help out wherever I can. And that is it. Until next time, folks, I'll catch you later.